Monthly cell phone plan charges $5 for the first 300 text messages used and 15 cents for each additional message. On this plan, what is the number of text messages that must be used in a month in order to make an average cost per message of 5 cents? So, again, just like the other one, one of the previous ones, you could just play around with the answer choices and decide for yourself, or you could write yourself an equation and solve that thing. So, not to overcomplicate this, but I want you to realize that this is actually a piecewise function. So, for example, we'll call the function f of x, and let's say that this is the cost for your text messages. So, the first cost is just going to be straight out $5 as long as your text messages are less than or equal to 300, right? For the first 300, that's what it says. And then it's an additional 15 cents for each additional message. So you still start out with $5 plus 0.15. Now here's the tricky part. I am going to have X text messages, right? I have X text messages, but I've already been charged for those 300, so we're going to have to subtract those 300 out of this equation. And so this part of the equation is good only when X is greater than 300. And this is the part of the equation that we're talking about here. So, would you agree that if I can get the total amount that this stuff is supposed to cost, which is that underlying part of that function there, and then just divide it by however many text messages I get, which I'm going to say is X, I should get the average cost per message, and that should be 5 cents. So that's how I'm going to set up this equation. $5 plus my 15 cents plus 0.15 times X minus 300, all of this divided by X is going to be equal to 0.05. Okay, so we have a rational function or rational equation that we're solving. So go ahead and multiply the X over here to the right-hand side to simplify the equation, and I get 5 plus 0.15 X minus 300, I guess I could have distributed as I went, is equal to 0.05x. So now let's distribute. 5 plus 0.15x minus, I think that is 45, is equal to 0.05x. And let's just get x is on the left-hand side, so I'll subtract the 0.05 over here, and I'll have 0.1x. And then add up the numbers, and then get them over to the other side. So on the left-hand side, the 5 and the negative 45 make negative 40, but I add it over and I get positive 40. Now just multiply both sides by 10, and I get x is equal to 400 messages. 400 messages? Oh, well, look at that. That's answer choice A.